I am pre-ordering the Canon R5 Mark II. Just don't tell my wife.
You're a monster!
Hi, welcome back to the channel and welcome aboard the crazy train. Today I'm going to be talking about, yes, of course it's in the title, I'm going to pre-order the Canon R5 Mark II. But why am I going to do that? Well, there's a list of reasons why, and I'm going to share that with you. But first of all, I have to tell you something. I love the Canon R6 Mark II. I'm not cheating on it. I'm just bringing the R5 II into a relationship with the R6 II. The R7 is probably going to watch us from over there. It's going to get freaky, but it's what I'm into. But we keep it in the family. There's no Sony watching us or Panasonic. It's another Canon family member watching two other Canon family members intermingle. This just got weird, didn't it? But yes, as a Canon shooter for over, well, actually, almost 30 years, because I started with the SLRs, and I mean vintage ones from my stepfather. He shared them with me after he beat me. Just kidding. I never got beat by my stepdad. That would have been really awkward to bring that up on YouTube right now, wouldn't it? So as a lot of you already know, the Canon R5 Mark II is going to be probably, most likely, most indefinitely going to be announced like tomorrow. If you're watching this from release day, otherwise it might be already over. You should pre-order it. But here I am, just a guy who's going to spend a ton of money, probably the most I've ever spent on a camera body, and I'm going to buy the R5 II. And there's multiple reasons why. Now, I'm going to go over the rumored specs, the more concrete specs, and the reason or reasons why I decided I'm going to get the R5 II, and I'm going to keep the R6 II, and the R7 obviously is going to be watching me touch these two cameras. Now, these specs that I have are actually coming from CanonRumors.com. I know, should you actually trust a rumor site? Well, it's not bad. There's usually pretty good sources here, and they're good at telling you unconfirmed and confirmed. So let's hit the unconfirmed real quick and go down there. So these are things that are not for sure. Gosh, there's a few on this list. I really hope they are for sure, and you will too. But no blackout during continuous shooting. I hate blacking out during continuous shooting, so hopefully I don't have to black out anymore. I should probably be shooting sober too. A better implemented pixel shift high resolution mode. That would be interesting. Not huge for me. I don't really care. At least right now. Maybe in the future I would care. Some illumination with the buttons. That could be good. You know, you're in the dark, you're doing astro, and one camera's touching another. You just want to make sure those buttons are getting touched correctly. You don't want any awkward movements. The LCD resolution more than doubled. Wow. I mean, this is not confirmed, but that would be awesome. Focus sensitivity of -8 EV. Increased battery performance. Okay, I would think so. You're going to be getting 8K. Ooh, did I give that away? The R5 II will have 8K. I'm just kidding. Everybody should know that. The Mark I has 8K. Why wouldn't this? Maximum electronic shutter speed beyond 1/8000th of a second. Boy, that is some crazy capturing right there. I honestly can't even tell you the last time I did 1/8000th of a second, but 1/16,000, 1/32,000, oh my gosh, just get an ND filter, people. Now this one, obviously not confirmed, and this would blow my mind if this is true, but dynamic range claim of 16 stops. Yes, I would definitely take that. All right, this next one, I have to preface it a little bit. This is one that most Sony users will make fun of Canon about all the time, and we're just sick of it. We are. And it's about how small our HDMI cable is. It's the micro HDMI. And it just makes us feel inadequate. But this one says we're going to get a full size. It's like going from, being a little kid to adolescence. We're starting to mature a little bit. So if we can get a full size HDMI port, I will feel more confident in front of women. And here is one: new firsts for Canon in autofocus algorithms. I'm not sure exactly what that means. It sounds like that would be something the R1 would get as well. I'm sure we'll hear more about it. Now, the body will be slightly heavier. It just happens. You get older, you take on some weight, but it's just more to love. And here's one that I really hope that comes to fruition, and it's the last one of the unconfirmed, and that is a new IBIS performance modes. And I really hope that this is something that comes to fruition, because when it comes to the ultra wide angle, like the 14 to 35 or the 15 to 35, at that 14 and 15 and probably on that 10 to 20, you are getting a lot of wobble. So if we can take care of that wobble and have awesome image stabilization on ultra wide, ooh, that's hot. Now, these previous specs have been confirmed by many different sources, according to Canon rumors, not by me, but by Canon rumors. And so you could put more weight or more stock into this one. So the first one is 45 megapixels BSI stacked sensor. So still sticking to the 45 megapixels, but you got a BSI stacked sensor. The other one is a new EVF design. I'm not sure exactly what that's going to look like. A big eyepiece, like a pirate, maybe? I don't know. And then you have 12 frames per second mechanical and 30 frames per second electronic max burst rates. Now, we get a lot more with the R6 Mark II, but the R6 Mark II is 24 megapixels, and this is going to be 45. So obviously there's going to have to be more readout. It'll be interesting. Now, this next one is one of the big reasons why I'm actually going to pre-order and buy this. And it is the eye-controlled autofocus from the EOS R3. Now, I have no experience at all, but every single testimonial from people out there have said that the R3's eye autofocus through the EVF is amazing. And just the other day, I was taking photos of my son playing soccer, and it was with the 70 to 200 f4, and it just would not stick on him. And if I can just look through that EVF and look at him to know it's going to be in focus, it's going to make it so much easier. New passive cooling design with 2 new vents. Now, we are going to get unlimited recording, just like we're getting with the R7 that's looking at me right now, the R6 Mark II, the R3, and now with these cooling vents, especially if you're going to be doing 8K, and we're going to get to that in just a moment, but as long as you're doing 8K, you do need a lot of venting with that. And that's actually going to the next one, which is going to be active cooling grip accessories. Now, there's going to be a battery grip accessory, and it looks like there's an active cooling grip accessory, which will give you more of that, that cinema feeling on set where you're not overheating and you have that unlimited recording, and you don't have to fear that you're just going to run out of all that juice or overheat. Now, it does have 8K 60 frames per second. It's going to be using CF Express Type B and SD card configuration. So I'm hoping that it's one of those where you can either do dual CF Express Type B, it's like diabetes, right? But obviously, if you're going to be doing 8K or 8K 60, you're going to be needing to do CF Express in order to get those higher rates. And the launch price, people are always wondering. Now, I believe, and I could be wrong, I believe it was about $3,800, maybe $3,799 for the R5. This one is going to be $39.99, $999. Just kidding. It's just $3,999. in 99 cents. So $4,000 is going to be this camera. But for what you're going to be getting into it, it sounds like it's worth it. Now, the announcement, and this is going to be funny because if you're past this date, then surprise, but July 17th, that is tomorrow, if you're watching it today. But if it's tomorrow already, it's now. It's awesome. You should pre-order it if you're looking for this. The shipping is going to be August 2024. And that really comes down to who do you purchase this through? And I have some words of wisdom for you. Now, I am a big fan of B&H Photo and pre-ordering through them. If you are a Total Tech member with Best Buy, you do get a 2-year warranty with any of these electronics that you purchase. But unfortunately, those mainstream retail stores, they don't get those out in time. It's usually like 2, 3, 4, 5 months down the line, and then finally you can buy those cameras. So here's where you need to buy it from. If you want it ASAP, you're going to have to pre-order this thing immediately at launch when it's available, either through Adorama or B&H. But where I go is my local camera store, because anytime I needed to pre-order something like the R6 Mark II or the R7, I just ask them and they already have a handful coming in. And there's only so many people in my town, so I'm going to get it. And just to make sure, I did send out an email today letting my rep over at Camera Corner Connecting Point here in Green Bay know that pre-order a few of them because I want one and I want it now. Now, I really wish I could sell my R7 or my R6 Mark II to help put it towards the value of this R5 Mark II, because the R5 Mark II is $4,000. I've never spent that on a mirrorless camera or a DSLR before. On a video camera I have, but not on one of these. The unfortunate thing is I actually need these cameras. The R7 II has been a great studio camera. The R7 II, that's like in the future. The R7 has been a great studio camera. The R6 Mark II has been great for real estate and architecture. And the R5 II is actually going to be doing it all. It's going to be awesome. But what about you? Are you going to pre-order it? Are you going to buy it? Or are you like me right now and have the R7 and the R6 II and you're like, Jared, I don't need the R5 II, but I want it. I want it just like you, Jared. Are you like that, or are you pretty content? Now, I usually upgrade camera bodies every 2 years, but lenses, these things last anywhere from 10 to 15 years at least for me. And that is if you are buying really nice. So buy nice or buy twice when it comes to lenses. And really that comes down to the L series lenses, and it doesn't have to be RF L series lenses. It could be EF L series lenses. And I think that's a video for another time to talk about the EF versus the RF, but specifically when it comes to L series lenses. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you want to join the crazy train, well, there's always room for more. Just subscribe. Hey, guess what? While you were watching this video, the algorithm learned your traits. They know that these are the videos that you're interested in. Don't fight it. Don't fight this feeling any longer. Watch one of them. And then report back to me. Let me know what you thought.